This is KLEAN Radio.
Welcome, everybody out there listening to KLEAN Radio all across America. This is a show about addiction and recovery and everything in the middle. We have an amazing show tonight. My co-host with the most, the lovely and talented Andrew Spanswick's in studio.
Wow, nobody's called me lovely in a long time.
That's, well...
Not since I was in Britain.
Well, you're not in Britain anymore.
I know, but you just called me lovely, so...
you
You're trying to become an Anglophile?
I don't even know what that means. But
okay.
I'd like to welcome everybody out there listening. Give us a call. The number is 800-222-5222. That's 800-222-5222. We have a great show for you tonight. I'll give you a little bit of a tease. She was in every single one of my favorite TV shows in the 1980s, some of the 90s, and one of my favorite 80s movies. Claudia Christian's in studio tonight. We'll get to her in 1 second.
But she wasn't in Breaking Bad.
She was not in Breaking Bad,
Let's
like
just clarify that right
Joey
off,
Pants
right
was,
off the front,
right?
so you don't screw up again. All right.
And but here's the thing. So I was reading. I'm a big sports fan. I was reading this story this week. There's this baseball player, and he's had issues with pot. His name is Jonathan Singleton, and plays for the Astros, and he's got this pot addiction, and. I wasn't that part of the story that I was intrigued by. It was the comments after. So he's talking about, it's been this long process since he's 14 years old. He's had this addiction to either pot or booze and the struggles he's going through. And so the comments after were like people going, you can't be addicted to pot. You can't be addicted to pot. Pot is not addictive. And the guy wasn't saying pot's addictive and I don't do it. He was saying I'm addicted to pot. And I love the comments after people telling him, no, you couldn't be addicted to pot. After he's saying, well, I was addicted. And Andrew, is pot addictive, yes or no?
Yeah, there's lots of different kinds of addiction. In fact, we used to think that it wasn't physically addictive, and there's now studies coming out showing that there is a physical addiction to some of the substances in marijuana. And as marijuana has gotten stronger, 12 times stronger than it was in the 70s, on average, we're looking at much larger physical side effects. Which people are dealing with. And we do have a puppy in the studio.
Yeah, we have Dr. Fantastic, your new puppy. And
so if you're hearing whines, that's not Judah just squeaking in his seat.
It's actually our publicist, Monique Moss. Anyway, so pot's addictive. I just want to get that out there.
Well, and then the major type of addiction with marijuana is psychological, obviously. And, it's just as psychologically addicting as things like cocaine. So, there was a lot of the problem was when Nixon made marijuana a Schedule I drug, which is probably higher than it should be on the schedule of illicit substances, and a lot of people think it should be legalized. There was a backlash, and so people said, oh, well, hallucinogens aren't addictive, and so they thought marijuana was only a hallucinogen, like LSD or whatever. And so they thought, if it's a hallucinogen, it can't be addictive. But what we found out now is that hallucinogens can be addictive. The thing is with like LSD and stuff like that, it's hard to take it every day. Some people do, but they just get fried. So
okay. And if you just tuned in, you are listening to KLEAN Radio. So give us a call. I actually want to know your opinion on this because I think there are a lot of people out there that don't think pot's addictive. They're the same people sometimes. We talk about it. They're the whole food potheads. They treat their body like a temple, except when it comes to ingesting drugs.
Well, there's still a lot of people that don't believe in the disease theory of alcoholism.
Whole food potheads. You could.
Whole food
I'm
potheads.
giggling at that because it's just I'm imagining them in the new vapor.
And if you just tuned in, that is the amazingly famous Claudia Christian. She's been in pretty much everything since 1980 something. I mean, but I want to read this list. You were in my favorite show in 1982. You did an episode of TJ Hooker. You did Falcon Crest. You did Mike Hammer. You did the Gary Shandling show. You did Matlock. You did Columbo. I mean, my God, She
didn't do them. She was in it.
I didn't do them. Yeah. I was in them. Although Peter Falk was pretty damn sexy.
Hey, listen. All said, done. Peter Falk.
Now, let me tell you something. I would have been there in a heartbeat. But he
Peter
was married.
Falk.
I know. He was an amazing guy.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite experiences working with him. I mean, how do you look at somebody? I'm a middle-aged broad, but I mean, I worked with Bob Hope and Burt Lancaster. At the end of their years, of course, but still, I've had a great career.
And William Shatner.
Well, we won't go there. They're shat.
And so you're also an author. You wrote a book called Babylon Confidential. Obviously, the tag is you're the star of the hit TV show Babylon 5.
Babylon 5, yes.
And I got that right. Yes.
Publishers do like putting the title of the TV series that you're most known for into the title of your memoir for some reason. It's sort of like Prairie Tales was
Oh,
Melissa Gilbert's. You know?
It's a marketing tool.
It's a marketing
Yes.
tool.
So, but it's called Babylon 5. It's a confidential memoir of love, sex, and sex and addiction, not sex
well,
addiction.
you need all three of those to sell. You know.
That's very true.
The
And
3 secrets of selling a book.
Babylon Confidential, a memoir about love. Boring. Yeah.
And you know what's amazing, and we were talking about this before, is you were in a sci-fi show, and it's like I always say, it's like a couple weeks back we had Eddie McClintock in, who's on the show Warehouse 13, and it's a sci-fi show, and there's something about the sci-fi fans that once you get into that world, you're theirs forever.
I am commander of
Yeah.
Onova till the day I die.
Yeah, it's like you could literally go to any convention you ever want to go to for free. And
oh, are you kidding me? And yeah, and they are so loyal. They are the most loyal fan base I think I've ever. Even my friends who are on soap operas and things like that can't outdo sci-fi fans. I mean, they're just. They will love you and support you and believe that you are that character till the day you die. You know?
and last but not least, you.
So I'm a bisexual Russian Jew, by the way.
Wow.
Telepathic in
now.
their mind.
I got to get back into Babylon 5.
I had a wife that believed that as well. so,
Really?
yeah.
But one of the, and also you were in one of my favorite, one of the most well-renowned magazines ever made and ever published, which is Playboy magazine, which
yes.
I obviously bought for the articles.
Of course.
And yes, and so welcome to KLEAN Radio. But more than that, you're here because, you know, one of the things we love and we pride ourselves on at KLEAN and KLEAN Treatment Centers is we're not one of those rehabs. We're not one of those places. And even just thinking-wise, we're not one of those places that says this is the only way for people to get sober. If there's another way and it works, Andrew.
Yeah, I think it's important for everybody and all their different types of treatment to get together and realize the goal is the same. And that's to help people. No matter what the
Yeah,
problem
there is no
so.
room for my way or the highway when it comes to treating addicts. And that's what, you know, I did try literally everything that was available to me, and nothing worked for me. So, you know, if there had been somebody who offered me this, I could have saved 5 really miserable years of my life.
And what is this?
This is the Sinclair Method, which I've been on for the past 5 years. And it involves taking an opiate blocker called naltrexone, or in Europe, nalmefene, 1 hour before you drink, every time you drink. And then over the course of a few months, you lose interest in drinking because you don't get the reward. It unlearns the behavior of addiction, of alcoholism, and it causes what's called pharmacological extinction in the brain. So it's a very inexpensive, easy, private. You could do it at home. You can get the medication from your GP, or you can buy it online. You can read Dr. Roy Escapa's book, The Cure for Alcoholism, which, you know, you can get a copy of that for a few bucks, a prescription for $30, and don't have to go to therapy or rehab or, you know, I mean, if you're drinking because you're biologically addicted, it's the perfect thing for you. If you're drinking because you have the genetic predisposition, you've been drinking for many years, and then suddenly you become addicted and you can't stop, this is a really, really great treatment. It's got a 78% long-term success rate, which is quite phenomenal in this world of 85% relapses. You know, I mean, it's a very impressive treatment. I've put a lot of people on it myself personally. And
600, you said?
Yeah, and I have a 99.9% success rate. One person didn't comply, and the other one just had a problem taking the drugs. It didn't make him feel good. Some people get nauseous from naltrexone, but I always just tell them just eat before you take the pill. It's extremely easy, and most people, their curve is 3 to 6 months, and within 3 to 6 months, they're either not drinking at all or they go back to social drinking, safe drinking levels. In Europe, the NHS has now approved the use of Silincro, which is nalmefene. Nalmefene is actually not processed through the liver, so it's safe for people even with liver damage. Naltrexone is, so you have to get a liver test in the U.S. first through most GPs. But they have approved it over the NHS for the use for binge drinking. So
There's a lot of that.
Oh my God! I mean, look in Scotland, and I mean, it's, you know, we all know that the rates 2.5 million people dying every year worldwide, but it's not only the human cost, it's the billions of dollars in lost work days and accidents and medical costs that are just staggering. And you think about this cheap, generic, you know, inexpensive treatment that could save so much money, much less lives. I mean, you know, of course that's the obvious thing, but
Right.
it really is a staggering, easy fix for a lot of people.
That's great. I mean, one of the problems that we see often, and for people that are purely alcoholics, that's great, but we see a lot of dual diagnosis and a lot of other issues where people are polyaddicted to multiple substances, and so
Or people self-medicating. For instance, if you're bipolar or
Exactly.
then you absolutely can do. I have a couple of patients who are bipolar and on the Sinclair Method, and they have to, really be aware of keeping in their therapy and their medications and everything.
Right, and most people don't realize that alcohol really is a depressant, and so if you have a mood disorder, drinking alcohol is just aggravating the symptoms.
Of course it is.
Even though you think you're feeling better.
Of course, we all self-medicate for, a lot of people, that's the interesting thing, because people say, well, what about somebody who's drinking because they're going through a divorce? And I said, well, that's fine. You can still do the Sinclair Method and go see your therapist.
Right.
Go to talk therapy, but do the Sinclair Method to get rid of the compulsive addiction. That, 4 bottles of wine a night, okay, that's very excessive, And if I actually had a couple of friends go on the Sinclair Method who were not alcohol dependent. They simply were drinking through a hard time, and they were drinking way too much, and it worked for them as well.
And if you just tuned in, you are listening to KLEAN Radio in the studio tonight with Claudia Christian. Am I the only one that does that?
No, I get Christensen, Helena Christensen, Christian. No, it's Christian, like the religion.
Yes.
She's going to be in series 2 of Breaking
Bad. Yes. And also she was on the A-Team, by the way.
There's a spin-off, yeah.
You did the A-Team, and so...
you have to bring up all the Cannell shows, don't you?
You know what? As a kid growing up in the 80s, he was like he was my hero. My favorite show of his was actually Wise Guy. And
I didn't do that one.
Yeah, well,
it was in your cult favorite movie, though.
Yeah, you were in The Hidden. And one of the great movies with Michael Nouri and Kyle MacLachlan from 1988. I think that's the year. And so give us a call. The number is 800-222-5222. That's 800-222-5222. One of the reasons we wanted to also do that Andrew and I did the show was so there would be dialogue, and I think for a long time, listen, I'm sober, I'm in the 12-step world, it's worked for me, but sometimes things don't work for some people.
Yeah.
And your approach might work for them. It might not. Something else might work for them.
I think when you've exhausted everything, such as I did, really the AA in 2 different countries and 17 different meetings and hypnotherapy and vitamin therapy and talk therapy. I went to psychologists and psychotherapists thinking that, I was drinking because my brother died when I was 8. I wasn't drinking. I was drinking because I was biologically addicted to ethanol,
Right.
So for me, after exhausting all those things and really, really being dedicated and trying, I just couldn't get, every time I was sober for any long period of time, all I could think about was the fact that I was sober.
Right.
So alcohol was still the obsession for me. Whether I was drinking.
That was your experience. Right.
From my experience, that's all I kept thinking about. So I wanted to get rid of the thought process of it as well. And the nice thing about naltrexone, when it undoes it, you stop thinking about booze as well. So that worked for me. Like I said, as long as there's treatments for everybody, and the bigger the menu, the bigger the selection, I think the more people will be saved.
I think at some point we are going to get to a point where there's going to be a lot of different medications for all these different types of substances. One of the problems is that we still have what are the underlying factors that are causing people that don't have a genetic predisposition to addiction, or any addiction, but end up in a cycle of self-destructive behavior, whether it be gambling or other process addictions that don't necessarily have to do with the substance.
What's interesting you said about gambling, though, is that's also the reward system of the brain.
Right, it's all the same reward system.
You can use naltrexone for gambling as well. Isn't
well,
that
I'm going to Vegas, so let's not take that.
He's going to get it on Friday. I have your number, Claudia.
Let me tell you something. I have one fellow who's 22. Okay, now how do you tell a 22-year-old you can never? And he's a gambling addict, sex addict, alcoholic.
Right.
Well, we killed all 3 things in one pill. And it's like, no, seriously. And it was just amazing. I talked to him the other day, and he said, this is incredible. I don't even think about phone sex, and I'm not drinking. I'm like, what about the gambling? He said, nope, haven't done it. So.
Did you tell him it wasn't 1998 with phone sex?
I think it's a different kind of phone sex. I think it's called Skype.
Oh,
yeah.
Sex Skyping.
That's like internet sex.
And so, but do you feel like, here's my first question. So you're claiming in a sense, and that you have the wonder drug.
I'm claiming
the cure for.
I'm not saying that anything is a cure. I'm saying that if you take this and you comply and you do it correctly, that you can put it in remission. I'm not saying you're ever going to be cured, and I'm saying that if the biological addiction can be put into remission, you can undo the addiction in the brain. However, if you're drinking for other psychological issues, or you're going through a hard time, or you don't comply, maybe it won't work for you.
I mean, it really, what you're talking about is it deals with the compulsive thoughts that drive people to drink that have biological addiction to alcohol.
Yes.
Right. And so that's one category of alcoholics or addicts.
Well, I mean, when you look at hundreds of clinical trials and you've got a 78% long-term success rate, the Finnish government, this was their only treatment for alcoholism, and their alcoholism rate went staggeringly down when they were giving every alcoholic naltrexone. And when the government stopped giving it out for free, the alcohol rate skyrocketed. Yeah. That's when they joined the EU. Thank you very much.
They could also use some sunlight up there.
They could use a hell of a lot of stuff like warm weather, bikinis.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, it's just a fact that it works for hundreds and thousands of people, and I mean, it's why not try it? That's the difference.
So
it's a non-addictive.
What's your belief about why it hasn't been more accepted and why it hasn't become more popular? You think
Well,
it's a
money
product
is
motive?
one thing. There's the pharma. Put it this way: it's a pill that the more you take it, the less you need it. So, what kind of pharma company is going to get behind that? Second of all, it's generic.
It's already generic, so. Yeah.
It's already generic, and the more you take it, the less you need it. So, I had a couple of people do an actual chart of how much it cost them to go into remission. I don't want to say the word cured.
Right.
$280. One guy. The other guy was like, I think he was in Britain, and it cost him £300 over because he took him 6 months or something. Right. I mean, it's a very, very cheap thing. There is a clinic in the United States that charges $3,000 to do the Sinclair Method. Now they have an outpatient thing where you go in with your drinking diary, but all of this you can really do at home. And also, it's the privacy that a lot of people don't want to go to their doctors. A lot of people said to me they don't want to put it on their insurance because they don't want to risk it being a pre-existing condition. And so all of these factors are, I said, well, order the book online and the drugs online. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you're that desperate and you can't find a solution, you can't find a doctor that will prescribe it. That's another thing, is the FDA made a mistake when they approved naltrexone in 1994 for the use in alcoholism, which, by the way, it's only the second drug ever to be created for alcoholism, antabuse being the one that could kill you if you drink on it. That's great. Yeah, good choice for that one. Naltrexone was approved, and when they put the little insert in the packages, they said, tell your patients not to drink on it. Right. Even though all of the clinical trials, including the one that actually they approved it, the O'Malley clinical trial at Stanford University, proved that the only people it worked for were the people who drank on it.
Right.
And so, the FDA made that mistake, and then to undo it, it cost probably $2 million to redo the flyers. There's actually, in Israel, if you buy naltrexone, it'll say, if you drink on this, it will kill you. I mean, that's how naive people are and how misinformed they are about this drug. It is an FDA-approved, declassified, safe, non-addictive opiate blocker. They've been using it to bring people neurological disorders. Low-dose naltrexone has been used for 40 years. And as we know, naloxone brings heroin addicts out of overdose. I mean, it's... this is not a drug that's going to hurt you or kill you. A lot of doctors do insist on a liver scan before taking it because, like I said, naltrexone is processed through the liver, but most of the time they don't actually. So.
By the way, if you just tuned in, you are listening to KLEAN Radio in the studio tonight with Claudia Christian, actress. Pretty much, you've done a lot, and you're the voice of many things. You've done the voice of Jaguar.
I got made fun of by Jay Leno on The Tonight Show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's how you know you made it.
Yeah, he said, why does that girl that does the Jaguar commercials say Jaguar? I thought, I'm huge.
Is that how they told you to pronounce it?
Yes.
Like so that everybody's debating how you pronounce
because
Jaguar?
I had a really, really bad fake English accent when I did all the ads.
It's like it's like Wilford Brimley. He brought diabetes into the into people talking about it because he pronounced it diabetes.
Diabetes.
So everybody's like, is that really how you pronounce it? And like all of a sudden, people are talking about diabetes.
Is that true?
So no, but it would be a brilliant marketing scheme to do that. So give us a call. The number is 800-222-5222. That's 800-222-5222. We're talking tonight about pronounce it for me. Naltrexone.
Naltrexone and the Sinclair Method.
And the Sinclair Method. And how many people right now are doing this?
It's very popular in many countries. I would guess at hundreds of thousands of people are doing it. But
and you're saying a 75%?
78% long-term success rate, meaning they've checked in on people 3 to 4 or 5 years later after these trials and everything. And there's been hundreds of government-funded clinical trials with, dual placebo tests and all that. It's been, I think he developed it in the late 80s. This is an American scientist named Dr. David Sinclair, and he they found a strain of alcoholic rats in Finland, and that's why he moved there, because he figured, this is going to be great. I can test my theory of extinction on these already alcoholic rats.
Right.
And that's when they started giving him these opiate blockers.
I couldn't have just sent him 2 rats.
No, he moved there. He's been there for 40 years. He's actually in my documentary. I went out and saw him in Helsinki. He's
pretty cool.
Been there 40 years, married a Finnish woman and everything, and had kids there and everything. And
There's hope, Judah.
There is hope.
Just say you have to go find alcoholic rats, and you will have a woman.
Wow. My
you find a
God.
wife.
You just would go
Is that
straight
how
for
it
the
works?
jugular. And
ouch.
that is yes, I won't mention what somebody called you before.
Oh!
And you know what? Can I tell you something? I just want to say this. We're a show about addiction and recovery, and I always say everything in the middle. We're coming out with something pretty cool at KLEAN Radio.
I thought we were a bad comedy show.
And but we one of the things that we're going to be showing is pretty soon in this thing we're bringing out is the fun you could have in sobriety. And when Friday afternoon, everybody from KLEAN Radio, some of us are sober, some of us aren't, hung out at a pretty funky place on Friday, and we were all sober, and we watched something pretty cool. And that's the tease, all you're going to get right now. But it was amazing what we did sober. And
I got called something very bad for it.
Something very bad for it that we will not mention.
Which I didn't deserve.
You didn't, Andrew. So I want to get her a quick call because I'm actually a little.
I thought
more,
you were going to go into the whole conversation about sober sex or something.
No, it was.
No, it was sober
there
sex.
was a sexual component to it. The story.
Not for me.
Not for me or not for Judah, but
Do
for
I get a tape of
a
this?
third member.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will gladly send it to you. But I just want to check in. It's a regular caller, and he didn't call in last week. He's actually, just so you know, Claudia, his name's Todd. He calls from Salem, Oregon, and he's in the institution where they shot One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
He's actually a
and
patient.
it's actually still a facility, we believe.
Wow.
And Todd, how you doing?
Hi, how's it going, Judah?
Good. I missed you last week. Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just like scoring myself. It's kind of take a break once in a while. I don't want to get too famous.
Don't worry about it, Todd. Todd, say hi to Claudia.
Hi, Claudia. It's nice of your introduction and nice of your new way to help people out.
Thank you, Todd.
Todd, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I just okay, check this out. I have my hearing on the 21st, right, to get out of here.
Todd's been in he's sentenced
In the
to 7
psych
more
ward for-
years because he police chases and all that. And we're actually part of his treatment plan that he has to listen to us once a week.
Are you
KLEAN Radio
serious?
Yeah.
like treatment plan.
We're in
Is
the
this
one
court mandated?
No, it's the place he's in is.
No, I meant KLEAN Radio. Is this like against,
No, but that would
is that
be-
against your First Amendment
That
rights?
would actually be pretty cool. So Todd, go on.
So, well, anyway, I pled guilty except for insanity on a laundry list of drunk and disorderly problems I was having with the self-medication and the psychosis, the drug-induced psychosis of, really good methamphetamines.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get it. I couldn't function. The family was just toxic because everybody is kind of,
Todd, let's get to
borderline.
the hearing that you have coming up.
Todd, first of all, I suggest for your hearing when you go in, you don't say it was really good methamphetamine.
Yeah.
That generally
remember,
doesn't show
the
that you
judge
have-
is different than Andrew and I at KLEAN Radio.
They're not going to
so-
be quite as compassionate
Yeah.
about like maybe that it could have
Todd,
been.
so the hearing's this week?
It's on the 21st, and guess what day that is?
That's
The
Sunday.
21st.
It's the 21st. Yeah, it says Friday night, Todd. It's Friday.
No, it's the first day of spring.
Oh. And Todd, on that, we're going to
And
leave
he
you.
will be sprung.
Talk to you next week,
All
Todd,
right,
okay?
Todd.
Okay, see ya.
See you later.
Good luck.
That's
and-
famous Todd from Oregon.
Yeah, famous Todd from the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
He's
Nest.
we're gonna have to meet this guy. We're gonna have to fly him down here.
No, he can't leave.
I thought you
We
were
have to
setting
go
me up
there.
with
when
him.
he gets
What?
sprung.
Hey, Claudia.
If you want him.
Claudia, if that's how you roll, that would be the best boyfriend
I'm
in America.
taking, man. Let me tell you,
Let's
I'm-
do a clean video dating shoot.
Yeah, and Todd would be the great because all you get is conjugal visits, then you got to leave.
Yeah, right.
The discussion continues at
Don't have to put up for an
cleanradio.com. Talk to you soon.
Are you or someone you care about addicted to drugs or alcohol? Addiction ruins lives and destroys families. Bring an end to the pain and suffering by calling KLEAN Treatment Centers. KLEAN has helped people from around the world break free by not only treating the addiction, but the underlying causes and providing vital aftercare so people can get clean and stay clean with no gimmicks and no false promises. If you need immediate assistance or just have questions, call KLEAN Treatment Centers for guidance. A much better life awaits. Now back to Andrew Spanswick and Judah Friedman.
Welcome back to KLEAN Radio. And in the studio tonight with one of the most beautiful, sexy people we've ever had. That's Andrew Spanswick. And our guest tonight, the ruggedly handsome Claudia Christian.
Yes.
And,
They did want me in Playboy, but I had to turn it down.
They didn't offer that big six-figure thing,
No,
did they?
it was-
You know what's great about people that I'm sure like everybody is like, how could you pose until you get off? You take $500,000 and say
to
no.
take your kid off, right?
Hey, 50 grand, I'm in.
Yeah,
okay, you call me.
Pay your house off by taking your clothes off. I'm going to say no to that.
It's the same people. It's always those people that call people sellouts.
Oh, I know.
It's like everybody's a sellout. You know,
Do you know
it's
how
like,
much I pay in alimony for taking my clothes off?
And do you know the month before me was Charlize Theron and the month after me was Drew Barrymore? Did they get any slack? No, but every sci-fi fan in the world was like, I can't believe you did that, Commander of Honor.
I'm really sci-fi fans. I mean, you think
they were very
would be
disappointed.
Wow.
Well, not all of them. Trust me.
Yeah, well, right.
They just felt
The
guilty.
lesbians were happy.
They just felt guilty.
So welcome to KLEAN Radio. That's Claudia Christian, and tonight she's talking about a different form of getting sober. You know, to everybody listening, I got sober through the 12 steps that worked for me. I've seen people that have an almost impossible time of getting sober that have tried the 12 steps, have tried therapy like you have, and it didn't work. So if something like your program works, the Sinclair Method, the naltrexone, God bless. I hope it works for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the important thing, is to have an opportunity when all else fails. And you're always taught that you're a failure if something doesn't work for you, that you failed, you didn't work hard enough at it. And I got to the point where it's like, listen, I'm working white knuckling to my bones. I really need to fix my brain. And so, coming from a family of scientists, I really thought there's got to be something medical for me. And I'm not a pill popper. And anybody I don't even take aspirin. So I really did not want to take a medication. But when I got that desperate and I finally found this, and I found it in such a weird way, my rock bottom was a detox center in Tarzana.
What did your rock bottom look like?
My rock bottom looked like a purple-haired ex-meth addict who told me that I couldn't get my sweater out of my bag at a freezing cold detox center because I might have something hidden in there. I was like, just get me the bloody sweater. What is your problem? What is this? It's like your friend Todd in the One Flew Over the. I was like, am I in a loony bin? I mean, this is crazy.
The answer to that is yes.
Yes, I am. I know this radio station is definitely. But no, back to that. I had sort of tried everything, as I said earlier, and on my way out from this place, I checked myself out in like 10 hours. And I on the way out there was a little thing for Vivitrol, and it was this long-term shot, and and I kept calling them because I was so desperate. I said, I'll try anything. I'll try the shot. I'll try anything. And they never returned my calls. So I did my own research, and I found out the active ingredient was naltrexone. Right. And that led me to the book, The Cure for Alcoholism. And then that led me to Dr. Roy Escapa, and that led me to order the drugs online. And after 3 months of sobriety, the drugs arrived, and I got on it. And that was 5 years ago. It saved my life.
Congratulations. It's like I said, whatever works for you.
Whatever works for anybody.
And I really do wish more people, listen, what's good, what works for me might not work for somebody else, what works for you. And I think that's the most important thing. Let's get to Rob. He's calling from Portland. Welcome to KLEAN Radio, Rob.
Yeah, hi. I had a couple of questions.
Can you speak up a little bit more,
Rob?
Rob?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, a couple of questions.
There you go.
One was that I was curious how one goes from being an actress to being able to have the patients that you're prescribing this for. Is that you're prescribing it for?
Oh, no, I'm not prescribing it. I'm not a doctor.
She plays one on
I
some
play
TV
one on
shows.
TV. No,
But,
no, I actually counsel people and I advise them. And when they find me through my book or through my website, the C3 Foundation, which is c3foundation.org, which is a website devoted to the Sinclair Method. When they contact me, I will Skype with them. I will counsel them. I'll talk them through doing the method. Give them, just help them through if they have any questions. Because sometimes people, after a few months on it, they'll say, "Well, why did I drink a lot last night?" I tell them that's normal. It's just a process. The extinction isn't overnight, and so I basically counsel people. I am not a doctor. I'm not allowed to prescribe medicine. I can tell you where to buy it online. Which is all that information.
Not on KLEAN Radio, though. Yes. You'd have to get in touch
all
with
of that.
privately,
It's a declassified, FDA-approved drug, for God's sake. But yes. But if no, I'm not a counselor, like a professional counselor or doctor or anything like
You
that.
just decided what worked for you, and you want to give it back to the next person.
No, what I decided is that saving lives makes me a hell of a lot happier than doing crappy TV shows. Not that I don't want to keep doing crappy TV shows. Anyone who's listening out there, any producer, because no, I mean, it's very satisfying to to have somebody at a 16-year-old that Skyped with me from England and said that she had never known her mother sober her whole life. Yeah. And I mean, hearing things like that,
that's amazing.
It is such a great feeling. And I started paying it forward, as you said, and I suddenly really started to fall in love with all these people that I was helping. And next thing you know, it's hundreds of people, and then I'm spending every day Skyping and talking and doing this, and it makes me happy. What can I say? It makes me very fulfilled.
Was there a concern in your question, Rob? I mean, you're sort of saying somewhat rhetorically, I think.
No, well, I just was curious about that, but the question I have was beyond that is how effective is that on other people that have multi-drug problems? I noticed that the one caller before said that he had a meth.
Todd, yeah.
It has been, you know what, they have used opiate blockers for opiate addiction, and I've heard that people who are using cocaine with alcohol reduce their cocaine use. I cannot attest to that. The clinical trials do say it works for opiate addiction, and I do know that they are testing opiate blockers with meth addiction, but I don't. That's not my expertise. My only area of claimed expertise is how it worked for me as an alcoholic.
With alcohol.
Excellent.
Rob, did that help?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
very
Rob.
welcome.
Call back anytime. And that was Rob in Portland, Oregon. Just called in. He listened to KLEAN Radio. We're in the studio tonight with Claudia Christian, star of many things, but also the author of Babylon, Babylon Confidential.
Excellent TV, and she wants another part.
Yeah, she.
Any of you, producers, directors out there, I didn't mean that about.
And I'm going to tell you something. You know what's amazing, Claudia? I mean, I didn't always know your name, but I always remembered you, and that's something. That's
a very nice compliment.
I saw The Hidden. I remembered you. You see Maniac Cop 2. Remembered you. I love the Maniac Cop
I was
franchise.
wearing a buttless dress in The Hidden. No one,
yes, and in another movie I saw you in. And anyways,
it was just like Prince's.
Judah's blushing in studio. So give us a call. The number's 800-222-5222. That's 800-222-5222. What I love about what you're doing, whether I agree or not, is none of my business. And
that actually is your business because it's about what you think.
But
that's such a Judaism.
That is a
Judaism.
But what I meant is, if you're helping people just because, and I think this goes to most people, and I think most people, whether you're in the 12 steps, you get fear of other ideas, of other things that might work for other people. And I'm comfortable with where I am in my sobriety, and you are too. And so what you do takes not.
It's interesting you said that because I did Larry King recently, and one of the.
Did he know you were there?
Yeah, and boy did he enjoy it. Meredith Baxter was on the show, and she's a long-term 12-stepper, and at first she was a little sort of hesitant and ambivalent, and by the end of the show we all came to the same conclusion. It's, why would you deny something that could save their life? Why would you deny anybody something that could save their life? And if this helps a hell of a lot of people, then you got to just swallow your own instinct to say it's my way or the highway and just say, whatever helps that person, then if somebody cures himself of a meth addiction by drinking pineapple juice every day, who am I to say that that's bogus?
A lot of people do. Not
coconut water.
Not pineapple juice per se, but you'd be surprised how many people actually stop doing drugs by compulsively seeing movies or playing golf every day nonstop.
Sure.
And that's not necessarily the healthiest behavior, but it's better than
it's harm reduction in a sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's displacing your compulsive behavior onto something a little more healthy.
We got calls lining up. Let's go to Judy in Savannah. Welcome to KLEAN Radio. Judy, how did you hear about us in Savannah, Georgia?
My son went to KLEAN.
There you go.
With the program.
Just please don't tell us his name, even though I do know it.
I'm not going to say his name.
Yes.
Good.
I did. Rob, who was just on, asked the same question I was going to ask. So I'm not going to ask it again, and just say how pleased I am with the treatment my child has gotten while he was in your clinic.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Judy. And have a great night. We'll call back anytime with any other question.
We love that you're listening to KLEAN Radio.
Next time, be the first caller, so your question could be the original one.
Yeah.
I did my best.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Judy,
talk to you later.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
And that was Judy. Let's get to Dan. Let's go to Dan in Portland. Welcome to KLEAN Radio, Dan.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, been struggling with pain pill addiction for about 10 years. Smoking pot for about 40. I quit the pot about a month ago. Actually, wasn't too big of a deal to quit that.
Well, what kind of pain pills are you using?
Oxycodone's my favorite, but I'll take whatever I can find, unfortunately.
Right, and you're just taking them every day?
Every damn day. And I went 5 days a week ago without any because I couldn't find any.
Right, and you're just taking them orally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take about 40 to 50 milligrams a day. I take them to sleep. I take them to wake up. I take them to play music. I take them to do everything. It's getting kind of ridiculous.
How was it that 5 days you weren't on it?
Well, a friend of mine gave me some tramadol, if you know what that is.
Yeah, that's an opiate.
And
so it's a low-acting opiate. So
it actually helped those 5 days, but then a friend of mine got me some more of what I was looking for, and now I'm back on it again.
Yeah, tramadol will block the receptor sites, but you're still getting high. You just don't. It's not as intense as oxycodone. So you want to go into withdrawal, but or you'll have less withdrawal generally, but you're still basically doing an opiate. So it's not a solution to the actual physical dependence that you're experiencing with opiate addiction. So it's just a way to get by.
All right.
And
I can see that.
Yeah, you're obviously physically addicted, and my first suggestion would be that you see a doctor.
Yeah.
Because it's very dangerous to be dealing with possible withdrawal without, especially off oxycodone, and I don't really, know how much you've really been taking, and I hear what you're saying, but I remember that a lot of people always say what they're taking, and they have no idea.
Dan, is this your first time calling the show?
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to tell you what, Dan, because I don't want to cut you off, but I don't want you, take this number down, okay? And stay on hold. We're going to talk to you off the air if you want. And if you want, we'll get you help tonight if that's what you want, because, there are a lot of, Dan, the courage that it takes for you to call into this show tonight is absolutely astounding and amazing. And
thank you.
For every one of you, Dan, there's about 50 people out there that don't have it's not they don't have the courage, they're scared to death to call in right now and say, I need help. And
I know a few of those people.
And I know.
And Dan, please don't drink and take opiates, okay? Because most people that overdose, they overdose on multiple types of substances.
Well, one thing I don't like is alcohol. It doesn't agree with me, so I'm good.
So Claudia is no help to you. Dan, stay on hold, okay?
All right, Dan, we'll talk to you tonight. I hope you start feeling a little bit better and take care of this problem.
Yeah, so stay on hold. And if you just tuned in, you are listening to KLEAN Radio. We have a couple calls that we're going to take in a couple seconds, but there's somebody that just came to the studio. I actually wanted to introduce him very quickly because he's doing something pretty awesome, and it's this thing I really want KLEAN Radio to start doing. It's spotlighting on charity, and he's an amazing guy. I've gotten to meet him recently. His name is Mayor Dahan. And I better be saying his name correctly. Yes, speak into the mic, Mayor. And he's the CEO of Dahan Properties, and he's the founder of something called the Dreambuilders Project. And what this charity does is it bridges other charities together. Is that fair to say?
Right. It basically is a charity for charity. So we're looking to support other charities that are already doing good things for the community.
And one of the things that really enticed is at KLEAN, we give away a lot of scholarship beds. We have treatment centers and IOPs all across America. And a lot of times when we scholarship people, they can't always afford the plane ride. So you and I had a good conversation where, I'll let you say it, Mayor.
In the future, as soon as we are available and we have the funds, we're going to do a scholarship for 2 people to fly down to your treatment center from wherever they are in the U.S. and help them get their treatment started.
Yeah, so if you're in Europe, they're not ready at that point. So it's only, but this week coming up, you have an amazing charity event.
Correct.
Why don't you tell a little people about it?
We have, it's our Dreambuilders Project first fundraiser for charity. It's sponsoring the Audrey Hepburn Care Center at Children's Hospital LA, and we call the event A Brighter Future for Children, because what we're going to try to do is to spread the word about a nonprofit that's really doing something positive. And the Children's Hospital Audrey Hepburn Care Center has a specific goal of trying to help abused children, and we want to support them and show them any help we can.
That's really amazing. And they're going to be, one of the things I love about what you do is you got into this because a close friend of yours died.
Correct.
And it touched you. and it had an effect on you. And I think, it's very cool. Claudia, we've all in the studio tonight, you're with a bunch of people that have had something affect them and decided to say, it's not just about me. And you've ran with it, and you're trying to help people.
Correct. Last year in 2013, I lost my close friend Amy to a drug overdose, and it was very unfortunate. And I was always involved in being in service and trying to give back and donate as I could, but this was the motivating factor that I needed to sort of step up to the plate and really be of service, let's say, to the community and use what sort of resources I had to give back. And it sort of started the Dreambuilders Project, which has been a great success so far.
And how do people find the Dreambuilders Project?
You can visit us online at thedreambuildersproject.com or thedbproject.com or on Facebook. And we're going to be having our first party this 15th.
I'll be there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
free invitation. I got to go, Andrew, and don't say anything. Yes, sorry.
You have to make a donation, though, Jude.
Yeah, it's through Andrew Spanswick. And
I will be making a donation, and Judah will be my carrier.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And so you got your first donation. So go on. So it's Saturday night.
It's Saturday night in Beverly Hills on Camden, 430 North Camden, at a venue called Home, which stands for House of Music and Entertainment. We're going to have a lot of celebrities there, a lot of great influential people from the hospital and from the community. And we're really excited. It's going to be fun. Have poker, live auction, silent auction, live artists, and a lot of other fun surprises and performances.
That's amazing. Our publicist, Monique Moss, is going to get all your information. She's the best publicist in the greater Los Angeles area, east of La Cienega. And she is going to get all the information you need, and we're going to just pump it this week. We're going to cut some spots for you because this is what we want to do.
The only reason you could say that there's no publicist west of La Cienega.
Yeah, that's true. They're all east. And so, Mayor, stay in the studio with us. I want to. We're going to have a little time hearing the calls because we're minus a jack. But if you just tuned in, you are listening to KLEAN Radio. That's Mayor Dahan, the Dreambuilders Project. I want everybody out there listening, even if it's just $1, give if you can. And when it comes to donations, Andrew, it's not always about how much; it's about mass.
Yeah, it's about making the effort.
And
so you care.
Yeah. And so let's get an interesting call. We have Randy, and I want to know how he found out about us or her. Randy in Kansas City.
Yeah.
How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Yourself?
Welcome to KLEAN Radio. How did you hear about us in Kansas City?
I saw the post on Claudia's Facebook page.
Hey now, you see? Claudia brought us a call.
Well,
yeah.
Is that a pay-per-click page, or is that?
No. I have almost like 80,000.
She's in a
sci-fi
show.
I have sci-fi fans, man. They're my buddies.
But it seems to me all these sci-fi fans are monogamous. Is that true, Randy? That most sci-fi fans are monogamous?
No, they cheat on you all the time.
They do. Okay, Randy, you got a question?
I wasn't disappointed in her Playboy.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
you, Randy.
So, Randy, what question you got for Claudia?
I wanted to find out how her movie about her addiction is coming along.
Her documentary, right?
Oh, yeah, thank you. It's called One Little Pill, and we are pretty much done filming and almost done editing, and we hope to have it... We're aiming to get it on television so we can reach as many people as possible. We're not shooting, cutting a feature-length film. We're cutting a television-length film. So, I feel that way more people will be able to see it, and eventually I'd like to make it available for the AMA.
Which is perfect for Netflix, by the way, because
Netflix and all that
I
stuff,
could do a 46-minute documentary.
You betcha.
Hour and a half. That's asking a lot of me. Yeah.
No, but also, in med school, a lot of people they're given no addiction, information. So I thought you could...
Judah could do a documentary that was only 46 minutes long and put an hour and a half on the label, but nobody would ever know that he
bonus
didn't finish
material
it.
would just be him, just a camera right here. This would be the bonus material.
With my hat.
The webisodes.
Randy, we got to run, but thanks for the call.
Thank you, Randy.
And just make me one promise. Call back even when Claudia's not in.
Okay.
Bless you, Randy.
And thank you, Randy, for the call. Let's go to Joseph. He's calling from Issaquah. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, sir.
What can we do for you?
I wanted to know, I was in my car.
You got to speak up a little bit, please.
I want to know what the name of that drug is you're talking about.
Oh, it's called naltrexone.
How do you spell that?
NALTREXONE.
And who can prescribe that?
GPs, addiction counselors, registered nurses.
You said you can go online?
You can go online and find it too.
And go to KLEANradio.com, or and we're going to post links to all of that. Okay.
To my website, because on the website's got all the doctors that you might have a doctor in your community on my website that actually prescribes its naltrexone.
KLEANradio.com.
Yes, and with a K. And I'm actually asking Claudia already on a second date, so she'll be back in the studio pretty soon.
She's getting married. You just missed
to
that
talk
boat.
about it. Okay, Joseph?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's go to TJ in Albany, Oregon. Oh, I dropped TJ. Sorry about that, TJ.
No,
TJ, call back.
TJ, please
10
call
minutes.
back. And let's go to Chris in Portland, Oregon. And he has a question about pot addiction.
What's up, Chris?
Hey, not much. First, I want to commend you guys for running a clean show, because clean and sober is really the only way to live life.
Amen, brother.
And
I always wanted to say that.
Go ahead. It's Sunday. One of my concerns is you were talking about marijuana being an addictive drug.
Yes.
I'll give you a little brief history. I think I started smoking pot in 1969. I had 3 older brothers. And
Quite the year to
7 older
start.
sisters. Yeah. And smoked continually my whole life up until 5 months ago.
Wow.
In 1984, I had a problem with smoking coke, which was a different problem. Went to rehab, paid attention, rehabbed, and haven't touched a chemical since September 8th, 1984, and that's aspirin, any kind of over-the-counter cough syrup, or any medicine at all since 1984.
That's amazing.
But I did smoke
You have
pot.
2 great years, just so you know, in your story. You have 1969 and 1984. Something.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, 84 was a tough year. That was.
Do you
the
have
year
like
my mom died,
2001
so-
space? What's next? 2001.
That already passed
Yeah.
you.
Right.
No, but so did 84.
And so
I'm
did
saying
2000.
something. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
whatever.
I think every year you're alive, breathing, and you're sober is a great year.
Okay, we're running out of time, so you got to get to this quick.
So at any rate, 5 months ago, I decided I'm a commercial truck driver. Been smoking pot and driving commercial trucks for over 35 years. Decided when I started this new job 5 months ago that really the compromise for me driving smoking pot was way greater than me not smoking pot. I decided one day I wasn't going to smoke. I hang out with growers that grow, make wax, and smoke, massive amounts of pot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was no issue for me to stop smoking after 44 years.
But that's you.
Yeah, and same
Right,
people,
and I
but
understand that.
also, Chris,
Genetic-
people say the same thing about cigarettes, that some people are able to just quit, and a lot of that has to do with the psychological factors of addiction. And some people, there's a lot of things that go on subconsciously we don't know about, and the drive to stop quitting or to decide to quit can sometimes be so overwhelming. And a lot of people that experience that when they bottom out on other drugs as well, or all of a sudden they get to the point where the idea of using is more disgusting than the idea of not. And so they actually get a reward system for not using. And in AA, they call that the pink cloud when you get sober, and all of a sudden you actually have this euphoria from not using. So that's a common experience for a lot of people, and some people call it a miracle, and some people, you're lucky. You're lucky that happened.
You are very lucky.
Right.
You didn't talk about using heroin, but that's for next week.
No, because I saw heroin addiction at a very young age. My family, alcoholism, drug addiction, over-the-counter prescription medicine was all a problem with my mom, my older brothers, my older sisters. So I think you make choices, and if you stick with your choice and you're honest with yourself, that your choice alone is strong enough to beat most addictions. When I was smoking coke,
Chris, we're gonna have to end you with that. I want to thank you for the call. Feel free to call back anytime.
You guys keep up the good
and keep
work.
trucking,
And call
but
us
make
next
sure you
week
do
and-
it minus the pot.
Call us next week and call us a little earlier. We only got a couple minutes.
Please,
here, so.
anytime. And I always wanted to say to somebody, keep trucking. And
You got two
keep
things
trucking
in.
there, Chris.
There's two things you got to say.
Yeah, amen, brother.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Amen. That's amen, brother. And we had an amazing show tonight. There's 2 people I really want to get to and thank. Claudia Christian, you are every boy's dream, and you continue to be
There's
that because
women that dream about her as well.
and women, yes, because you continue to give back, and I really think that's an amazing thing. It's really cool that we had a caller, and I can't think of a better testament that thought you gave up acting, in a sense, to do this. And this is just something you do because you enjoy seeing people get better. Tell people where they could find you, what your program is.
C3foundation.org, which is C and then 3 is spelled out, foundation.org. That's the website where you can find out all the information about the Sinclair Method. You can also find me on Facebook. I have a fan page. I have a Sinclair Method page. I've got a One Little Pill page for my film. I've got about 7 Facebook pages.
Ooh, baby.
And you can always contact me directly at Claudia.Christian at c3foundation.org. I Skype and email and
Really?
I do.
Wow, I might be Skyping you.
Don't get too excited there now.
And also, and I want to thank Mayor Dahan. It's the Dreambuilders Project.
Correct.
And how again do people get in touch with you?
They can visit the website, www.thedreambuildersproject.com. We also have a Facebook page, and we're all over the place. So you can reach us or you can find me online. Anywhere, and
we could Skype you.
You can directly contact me. Exactly.
But he charges.
He
asked for donations.
I actually have to go to something that night, but I'm gonna send you with a check for $1,000. So
that's amazing.
Wow.
And yay, Andrew! And
thank you for having me on the show.
It's gonna be a big check because he doesn't trust me with a small check, and it's gonna be like one of those, clearinghouse checks.
You're actually gonna get a wire. He's just gonna get a piece of paper that says they got a wire.
And I'm gonna be bidding on something.
As long as it doesn't bounce, we're good.
Because that'll be back. He knows where we are, Andrew.
Yeah.
So, Mayor, I think it's amazing what you're doing. Maybe we'll get Claudia to your next event. She's probably very busy.
I'd love to have you come back in after the event, too, and let us know how it went.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I would appreciate that. That'd be fun.
Anytime. When it comes to charity, you know what? It's time. And I think that's what's really great about the show tonight. Because, Claudia, in a sense, you are giving back. That's what you're doing. There's something saved your life, and you feel passionate about it, and it worked for you. And I think that's what the show is about tonight. So, Mayor Dahan, say the name one more time.
The Dreambuilders Project.
And I will be there Saturday night at your event. Come to this event. Everybody in Los Angeles. Todd from Portland, we would fly you there, but you're not allowed to leave. I want to thank you, Claudia Christian. God, you are an amazing guest. And I think that's the highest praise I've ever given to a guest.
Yeah, well, she's the only one that didn't call you something nasty.
That's true. Her and Lee Steinberg.
I think you both are lovely. Thank you for having me.
You know I'm lovely.
Thank you.
That's just Andrew. Andrew, have a great time this week with your mom and your aunt.
Yes.
And I'm taking your baby little dog, Dr. B. Everybody out there, this is KLEAN Radio. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/KLEAN Radio. I want to thank Patrick, Rand, Steve, everybody that makes the show happen. Keep posting because we do respond. And this is one of my favorite shows tonight. So, again, the discussion continues.
Thanks to all our callers.
KLEANradio.com.
Are you or someone you care about addicted to drugs or alcohol? Addiction ruins lives and destroys families. Bring an end to the pain and suffering by calling KLEAN Treatment Centers. KLEAN has helped people from around the world break free by not only treating the addiction, but the underlying causes and providing vital aftercare so people can get clean and stay clean with no gimmicks and no false promises. If you need immediate assistance or just have questions, call KLEAN Treatment Centers for guidance. A much better life awaits.